Hey Canucks fans, Oliver Ekman-Larsson met the media today, and the Canucks picked a Russian with their first pick of this year's draft. I'm Canuck Clay. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the Good Looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take on the one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Saturday, July the 24th. Subscribe now for Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Hope you're all doing well. Thanks to everyone who joined me for my live stream yesterday. Just did the first top 10 picks. Canucks didn't have a pick and I had to finish a paper for my master's. Thanks to everyone who joined me and Parker for Canucks After Dark last night. We had our biggest audience ever, which is kind of cool. A lot of excitement, obviously. A lot of buzz surrounding the Vancouver Canucks right now. So for today's vlog, I'm inside. I want to be outside, but we're busy setting up for my son Jacob's graduation party. So I'm going to make this pretty short and sweet, but I want to talk about a few things. First and foremost, today's Saturday. That means tomorrow's Sunday. That means tomorrow is my weekly Ask Me Anything. So put a question down below in the comment section. Just start it with AMA for Ask Me Anything so I don't miss it. And I'll do my best to answer it in tomorrow's vlog. Again, Ask Me Anything tomorrow. Put your question in the comments. I want to talk about three things. I want to talk about Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I want to talk about our newest draft pick. And then I want to talk about, very quickly, the contract for Quinn Hughes, Ala Cale Makar's new contract. So Oliver Ekman-Larsson, I broke down the trade pretty quickly yesterday. You can tell I was very excited when I was at work. I wanted to get a video out quickly. Now we have all the details. We don't have to go through all of them here. But in essence, I think this trade will be fine for the Canucks if Oliver Ekman-Larsson works out. That's a big if. We know that a lot of people, especially analytics-wise, have said he's had a rough 3 or 4 years. But I still look at his points per game. I know it's not just about offense, but he's still producing at a 0.5, half a point per game clip. So you can expect him for a good 40 to 45 points every season. But it's the other parts of his game, obviously, his puck movement, his decisions, his defense, of course, his pivoting, all those things. So if Oliver Ekman-Larsson works out, and it sounds like he's totally committed to doing so. He had a wonderful meeting with the media. I think he used the term super excited about 39 times. You can tell he is indeed super excited. He talked about that. He didn't have a good last couple runs, couple years in Arizona, while he was very still complimentary to the fans and the organization. You could tell he is indeed super excited to be here with the Vancouver Canucks. Did Daniel and Henrik Sedin have a bit to do with it? Perhaps. They did speak about how, Daniel did at least on the radio, about they could speak to Ekman-Larsson's character and his willing to compete and all those things. So no surprise there, given the Swedish connection, given that they've been teammates and opponents for many, many years. But I'm okay with this trade. I think I gave it a B yesterday, and I think I'm on the more positive side. Surprise, surprise. I know a lot of people don't like the trade because of the money involved, because they're not sold on Ekman-Larsson, and I get that, and I have time for those arguments. I really do. And there are so many layers to this trade. Whether it's, don't forget, Connor Garland, 39 points in 49 games last year. He is going to be a fixture, hopefully, in our top 6. On the right side, you can move Höglander to the left. So there's the Connor Garland piece. There's the money piece of $12 million going out with Eriksson, Beagle, and Roussel. But then you're basically going to bring 10 to 12 million in with Ekman-Larsson. Remember, Arizona's taking $1 million or $990K, but in essence, $1 million, retaining that salary for 6 years. So we're still paying 7.26 of Ekman-Larsson's contract. No, that's not right. 8.25 minus 990. Yeah, we're basically paying a shade over 7.25. So maybe just 7.26. Regardless, we're paying 7.25 on Ekman-Larsson. Is Connor Garland in line for a new contract of $3.5 to $4 million? So already there's the majority of the $12 million. I can see why people are saying, well, hey, that $12 million is going to come off your books after only a year, and now we have Ekman-Larsson for 6 years. But Ekman-Larsson might be a great player if he regains his form. Top pairing D-man, top 4 D-man. I think the first 3 or 4 of these 6 years will be just fine. And then last 1 or 2 years, you can look at buyout or other ways or trade or other things that you can do. So I'm not worried about that. And surprise, surprise, I'm taking the more positive bent, but there's a lot there. I think Jim Benning is not done yet with his moves. He's still got to make more cap space. So is that a buyout of Jake Virtanen? Is that a trade for either Nate Schmidt or Braden Holtby or both? You never know. So I don't think Jim Benning is done. And we should be able to see that as we move forward, going to free agency on Wednesday. So once again, A lot of moving parts in this trade, whether you're talking about the money, the short-term gain for long-term pain, so to speak, whether you're talking about Ekman-Larsson, super excited and ready to regain his form, whether it's Connor Garland, kind of the forgotten man here, but maybe the one guy that people are more excited about being an impact player for the Vancouver Canucks. Is it the fact that you're moving $12 million out? Is it the fact that we still got to move more money out? All right, and then we didn't even talk about the ninth overall draft pick here. We traded away the ninth overall pick yesterday, then a second round pick next year, and then a seventh round pick the year after that. Forget about the seventh round pick, but the second round pick next year, that might sting a little bit. And then of course, the ninth overall pick. I'll say this very quickly. Thank goodness it wasn't Kent Johnson, Brant Clark, or Luke Hughes that were still available at 9. It was Dylan Guenther, still going to be a really good player. But I think just the way that things were going, if it was Kent Johnson, I think a lot of Canucks fans would be even more mad. If it was Brant Clark or Luke Hughes, also some semblance, some modicum of mad anger. But because it wasn't any of those three guys, I think the trade was a little bit more palatable for people. So we're going to have a lot of time to talk about this. I know you had tons of comments on my video yesterday. Would love to hear your comments down below. Now that you've had a night to sleep on it, now that you've heard Ekman-Larsson and Garland talk to the media, how do you feel about the trade right now? With the Canucks' first pick of the draft, their pick in the second round, 41st overall, the Vancouver Canucks selected a Russian, and his name is Danila Klimovich. And at the end of the video, after I do my wrap-up, I'm going to do a quick minute or so on the pronunciation of names. So Danila Klimovich, Russian. This is what Daniel G. Scouting says on Twitter, and I follow him for a lot of, he does great work, and he knows his stuff. He says this. He was elite prospects number 35 prospect. Number 53 prospect. Reverse the numbers there. And we got him at 41. So we get him at 12 spots ahead of what elite prospect says. And he says that Klimovich has a violent, projectable shot, great off-puck positioning, and high motor. A bit inefficient, but this is a fine pick for Vancouver. A very angry player. I don't know about you, but that gets me excited. Angry, high motor, great, violent shot, great puck positioning, off-puck positioning. I've read, he's got decent size, 6'2", 200, or 6'1", 200, I think. He has a lot of skill. He's got good hands and not afraid to go to the net. We saw him score that hat trick in the World Juniors or the World Under 18, one of them. So he's a good player. He's a very good player. And that hat trick came against Switzerland, by the way. And the thing is, I've heard that his skating isn't the most efficient. I've seen that from a few people. I'm not a scout. You guys know this. I don't know a lot about these guys until we pick them. So I'm excited to see what this guy can do. Probably at least 2 or 3 years away. Can play likely in the CHL next year. But, we joked around about getting a Russian for Vasily Podkolzin, make him more comfortable. He might have to wait 2 or 3 years to see this guy on the roster. But Danila Klimovich, I messed up his name, and that's what I'm going to talk about at the end of this video. I think it's a good pick for the Vancouver Canucks. There was Stankoven still. There was Ratu still there. But and I actually woke up to this pick. I slept in a tiny bit, and then I woke up just as the Canucks made their pick. So all in all, I'm excited to see what Danila Klimovich can do, even if it's 2 or 3 years out from now. Lastly, Cale Makar signs a 6-year contract, $9 million average annual value, so 6 years at $54 million. Throw in Heiskanen's 8.5 from last week, and now you've had on back-to-back Saturdays the 2 comparables to Quinn Hughes getting signed. Now, I think Klingberg was 8 years. Heiskanen was 8 years. Makar was 6 years. I don't think the Canucks can afford to go 6 to 8 with Quinn Hughes, so I'm looking for a 3-year bridge deal. Obviously, the money comes down a little bit when you do a bridge deal, so maybe it's not going to be 8.5 AAV. It's not going to be 9 AAV. Maybe it's going to be closer to 6, 6.5, up to 7 at the most. So kind of interesting. We've talked about Makar and Heiskanen as being comparables. Heiskanen, though, maybe a more complete player than Hughes. Makar, a Norris Trophy finalist. So maybe Makar and Heiskanen are a little bit higher than Hughes. So that's why we wouldn't expect Hughes to make the same amount of money, and they're likely going to go bridge anyways. But be curious to know in the comment section what you think, if you think Makar's contract is going to affect the contract for Quinn Hughes coming up at all. So 3 things I'd love for you to comment on. What are your thoughts on the trade now that you had a night to sleep on it? What do you think of the Canucks pick of Danila Klimovich with 41st overall, second round, first pick of the draft for the Canucks? What do you think of that? And what do you think of this Cale Makar contract have any effect, any bearing on the new contract that's coming for Quinn Hughes? I'll do my sign off, and then I'll say goodbye, and then I'll give my funny story about names. Shoutouts to my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Sim Alexander, Justin Credible, Nux Fan number 29, Lucas Gates, Chris Seifert, Adam Brewfield, Shea Family Channel, Jamie Sports Talk and More, Shannon Hollingworth, and Andrew Chang. Thanks for your support as always, and thanks to the support of members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions in the memberships tab or underneath any of my videos. If you want to become, I messed that up because I was thinking about something else. You are listed in the video descriptions underneath any of my videos. If you want to become a member of the CCC crew, press the join button underneath this or any of my videos or on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Our sub base is growing. Our membership slowly growing. I would love for you to be part of this community for sure. So comment below. Thoughts on the trade, thoughts on the draft pick, thoughts on Cale Makar's contract. Subscribe if you like to, like this video if you like to, and leave a comment if you like to, and become a member of this channel if you'd like to. Okay, one last minute. So you can sign off here if you want, or you can listen to my theory about names. If you're not sure how to pronounce a name, just ram through it relatively quickly, but with confidence, because the more confident you sound, the more it sounds like you know what you're talking about, even if it's wrong. I don't know if it's Danila Klimovich. I don't know if it's Danila Klimovich, but I just said Danila Klimovich. And doesn't that sound confident? It didn't sound like I knew what I was talking about. Just like a lot of people say it's Nikita Triamkin, but I've heard it's Nikita Trampkin. Like you don't even say the Y. But regardless, as long as I say it, Nikita Trampkin, doesn't it sound like I know what I'm talking about? So whether it's Trampkin, Klimovich, all those guys, Aturatu, as long as you don't rush it, but you sound, you're authoritative, you're assertive, you say it with confidence, I think it just sounds like you say those names a lot better. And if you wonder how to pronounce my last name, of course, it's Emo, like Nemo, not Imu, like a cow. Okay, so there we go. I'll get off my soapbox. If you want to sound smart, if you want to sound confident, just ram through the name, even if you're messing it up. Danila Klimovich, Danila Klimovich, Danila Klimovich. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.